Hi, I'm Mitch Shoemaker, and this is day 30 of my making 100 days YouTube videos for 100 days and focusing on gratitude. So today is day 30. I'm trying to do a different schedule today, which um, I'm not. I am doing a different schedule today. I'm just not doing it perfectly. And I just was thinking how grateful I am because there's that old part of me that's like, okay, success or failure. And there's no in between. And today I'm thinking, well, I'm making progress. So I don't even care. I woke up earlier than I wanted to, and I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna go back to bed. I'm just gonna go back to bed because I'm still tired. And the next thing I know, I'm finding my exercise video and getting out all of my exercise equipment. And I'm like, apparently I'm exercising instead of going back to sleep this morning. I still, granted, I chose to play some games on my phone to avoid doing it. I'm like, I don't really want to do it. And then I started doing it, and it was hard. But then I was like, oh, this feels so good. I can't believe I haven't done this for so long. Like I just really needed this. I had that thought within like the first 2 minutes of working out. I was like, I needed this. And then of course I'm overzealous sometimes. I think I can do more than I'm capable of doing. And yes, I may be capable of more than I give myself credit for. That always pops into my head when I say that. But doing a 45-minute workout video instead of a 25 workout video, especially when I haven't done it for a really long time, it's not a really good idea. So I got about 20 minutes in and I started getting lightheaded and I couldn't breathe and I was like, I'm going to be sick. I have to stop. So I just fast forwarded to the end of the video where it does the stretches to like, the unwind, 5-minute unwind version of that. And even that was a little hard, but I did it. So I'm like, okay, tomorrow we're going on 25 minutes. I don't need to push myself that hard because I know the 25-minute video is just to maintain things. It's just to do stretches and things like that. It's not as intense as the 45-minute video, but maybe right now where I'm at, because it's been so long since I've exercised and I'm so out of shape that I just need to go back to just stretching and doing just the basic stretches with the 25 minutes, and that will be good and not quite as exhausting because I still want to be able to exercise, and it felt good to be able to exercise. And it also felt good for me to just be like, okay, I only made it 22 minutes into a 45-minute workout before I had to like take a break or stop or whatever. But at least I know that's where my limit is. And if I could do 20 minutes, 22 minutes of a hard one, I could do 25 minutes of the easy one and we're good. So, but to me, I was like, I was happy I did at least that much. And I wasn't even like maybe a tiny bit disappointed, but mostly I was just grateful that my thought process is I'm so glad I did this, and I'm like, hey, I worked really hard because I haven't done this in a really long time, and maybe I just tried to do too much, and it was okay. And then I'm like, progress, not perfection. It doesn't matter if I get this right or perfect today. I'm just in the process of starting a different schedule. And I know I'm still have lazy tendencies. I know I still avoid things I don't like doing or don't want to do. I avoid change, even though I know change is imminent. It's coming. But there's something inside of me, I think, that's just excited about doing this because, like I said, I just got up and started doing it. And I'm like, it's not even a habit for me to get up and exercise. It's just that I've been telling myself for the past week or two that I was going to do this and I'm going to start this new schedule. And I went to bed, um, not mostly in a decent hour, but I got about 6 or 7 hours of sleep last night, so that was good. And at least half of it was during the night when it was dark outside, so that's also good. Um, so like, okay, I'm doing this, and it was just it felt good. It felt right. It was just like automatic. Like my body's on automatic and my brain is going, I don't want to do this. I want to go back to bed. These are the thoughts I'm saying in my head. And my body's just like, ah, that's nice. We're going to exercise. So it made me feel good that there's that part of me that is thriving on this positive attitude, on thriving on the idea of doing good things for myself. So even though it kind of feels a little bit like torture and it's hard, it's like, okay, I'm torturing myself. And then I'm like, no, I'm not torturing myself. I'm loving myself. I'm taking care of myself. I'm trying to replace those negative thoughts like this is a bad thing, this is torture, to no, this is a good thing. This will give me more energy. This will help me stretch out. This will be so I'm not so sore because honestly, kneeling to do exercises on a hard floor. Oh my gosh, my knees hate me. I'm sure I'm like gonna be sore like little jelly legs and stuff for the day. But yeah, I know that it's worth it, and I know if I continue to do it consistently, it will get easier. And then the 25-minute video won't be anything, and the 45 minutes will be something I will do more regularly because I need that more eventually. But it's also something I know I can build up to. I don't have to make myself do all today. And it's okay that I only got halfway through it because at least I attempted to do it. At least I started doing something. At least I know I can continue working out. It's just not going to be a perfect process, and that's okay. And I'm just grateful that I'm okay with that. I'm not like totally disappointed or hating myself or beating myself up or saying that's it, I'm done, I'm never going to do it again. So my thought processes are changing, which is really good, and I'm really grateful that I did those exercises this morning, or as much as I did this morning. And I'm grateful that I can make this YouTube video, that I can try to get a different schedule set up for myself for working and for writing, and probably not using my time as wisely as I could, because I think I was just still a little tired when I got up this morning, and working out is really exhausting. So it may take me a while to build up to where I'm like productive 90% of the day instead of, 50 to 75% of the day. I don't know what my percentage of productivity is, but it's increasing is what I'm saying. It's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing myself do better. And I like seeing that change in myself. And it's only been 30 days. So, I mean, I'm still remembering the first like week or two, and I was griping and complaining like, oh crap, I have to make another YouTube video. And here I am like, oh, yay, I'm making progress. That doesn't even have to be like pass fail or, I succeeded or I failed, because I'm like, oh yeah, I failed at my schedule. I'm like, okay, but it's a flexible schedule, and I didn't do it perfectly today. That's not the point. The point is that I'm trying to do a different schedule. I'm trying to do things that are healthier for me. And in that aspect, I'm progressing. I'm succeeding in having progress in my life, because I did get up, I did exercise, I did half a 45-minute video, and I should have just done the 25 in the first place, but that's okay. I didn't know. I wanted to try. I wanted to push myself, and I got to the weights and I was using my 2 pounds. I'm like, I should totally be using the 5 pounds. And then 10 minutes later, I was like, I should totally not be doing this. I'm so out of shape. I can't do it anymore. Like, my body just hit that point and said, we're done. And I'm grateful that I can listen to my body, that I know that it's like, okay, that I tried, I pushed a little bit, and I hit my limit, and that was okay. And that's my limit today, but my limit may be different tomorrow. I may be able to do more tomorrow. The more that I do, the more I rebuild these muscles, the more I will be able to do. So it's a process is what it is. And I am in the process of doing things better in my life. And it's probably an ongoing process that will last the rest of my life, because there's always something for me to work on or to fix or to do. But they're positive things. They're good things that take care of me, that make me feel good about me, that give me more energy so that I can be available to do nice things for other people too. And, I can do this video and share my progress with other people, and hopefully that encourages other people to experiment with this, because this is my experimentation of showing gratitude for 100 days and focusing on that and seeing how it's changing my attitude and how it's changing my focus. And it's actually, I'm being motivated to do things like, honestly, like my negative thoughts are still in my head. They still come. I wish they would not come at all, but I'm actually able to just ignore them and keep going, or like, okay, I guess I'm exercising even if I don't want to today. This is awesome. But I'm grateful that I can see that it's awesome. I'm grateful that I can see that my body is wanting this, that it felt good to be exercising. So yeah, I was exhausted after 22 minutes, but I'm grateful I did it, and I'm looking forward to doing it again tomorrow. Like, I'm excited about this process, and I'm grateful that I can see the progress that I'm making, and that I can focus on progress and a process. So progress, not perfection. It's a 12-step slogan that I learned, and I love that. That's one of the ones I just hold on to the most, because I don't have to be perfect at this. This isn't I succeeded or I failed. This is I'm making progress, and that's the goal, is to make progress, is to slowly become better one day at a time. So I'm building new habits to help me feel better. And granted, these are habits that I used to have, things I used to do years ago that I got out of the habit of doing because life happens. And you know, I stopped doing things. I got depressed, I got discouraged, and I gave up. And I knew the whole time that I was in my state of depression or grieving or whatever you want to call it that I've been dealing with. I knew all the things that would make me feel better. And I think at some point in my life, I just said, I don't want to do it because I don't want to feel better. I just, I don't want to feel better because I don't want to end up down here again. And I always end up down here and depressed and discouraged. Somebody's always going to screw up my life and I have no control over it. So I'm not even going to try. And I lost a lot of that faith that I'm regaining right now and belief in myself. I lost who I was in that process, and that was not a good process to go through because just because other people don't appreciate me or treat me badly doesn't mean I have to accept it. Doesn't mean they're right. That doesn't mean that's who I am, and it doesn't mean that I deserve to be treated that way. Which I knew mentally, I knew that up here. I just didn't know that emotionally, like in here. I let my emotions get the better of me. And then when people kept telling me I was going to be okay or I was all right, I was like, I'm not all right. And let me prove it to you by just making myself worse. And I did that. It was not a very good choice of mine. Um, but I got to the point where I'm like, I can't do this. It doesn't matter what I say or do. I can't control other people. But then I was like, oh, but I can do stuff for myself. And I can sort of control myself. I'm not going to say I fully can control myself because obviously I'm thinking in my head, I just want to go back to bed and I'm up and exercising. So sometimes my body just, goes on its own and the thoughts and the feelings, they pop up and I just have to learn how to process them. I have to learn how to listen to my body. I have to learn how to take care of myself, things that I have to focus on myself. But I'm learning that as I focus on myself and what's good for me and I'm doing things that are good for me, I'm not as, I don't internalize as much what other people say or do. I don't take that personally and I don't feel like I deserve to be mistreated. So I don't have to accept that bad behavior. I mean, I still have issues. I have lots of issues. I'm not a perfect person and I'm not very good at communicating with people. And I still want to run and hide and avoid things that I haven't dealt with for a while because lots of things are all backed up now that I'm trying to face reality and deal with things one day at a time. So it's going to take me a while to get caught up on a lot of things, like my housework, like unpacking, like laundry, dishes, finances, all of those things. They all fell apart when I did. And so it's going to be a process to rebuild all of those things, to regain all those muscles. And it's a process I'm willing to go through to work on. It's progress that I'm hoping to make. And I'm grateful that I can see the progress. I'm grateful that those internal motivators are there because for the longest time, I wasn't motivated. I couldn't find a reason to do things. And then I would look to outside reasons, like my kids would be my outside reason, or other people would be my outside reason. And that works for a little while. But eventually, it's not a strong enough motivator. So, I'm like, if my kids aren't living with me, which they're not, then I don't have to do anything because they're not here. I do stuff when they're here. I just don't do it when they're not here. But I need to do it regardless of whether they're here because it's what I need to do for me. So, I have to learn how to do things for myself and remember that I'm important and that I need to come be the priority, the first person on my to-do list. Like, what am I going to do for me today first? How am I going to take care of me? How am I going to fill myself up emotionally, spiritually, physically, so that I can, see other people? Because I think if I don't see myself clearly, I can't see other people clearly. So I need to see myself clearly. I need to see myself the way that God sees me, the way that He designed me to be, to know that I'm okay the way that I am. And yes, I can make some changes. I can develop the talents that God has given me to do things to feel good about myself. I can share that with other people. I can share my talents, my writing with other people, my speaking abilities, if this counts for a talent. I have no idea. But I can share my insights with other people. I can share my experience, strength, and hope with other people and show them that this is a possible process and that God is the main part of all of this because He's helping me to do this, inspiring me, prompting me, um, kind of pushing me In the beginning, I was thinking nagging me, but I'm not doing it in a mean, horrible way. It's just that little gentle, quiet voice in the back of my head that's like, "Hey, Midge, go do this. Hey, Midge, come on, come on. You know you want to." And I'm like, no, not really. And then, of course, I started taking those DDR Prime essential oils that really help with my moods. And then I was like, okay, that little voice in my head is like, hey, you know you want to. You know you want to. Come on. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. So I started doing it, but not with a very willing attitude. More like, okay, fine, because I can't stand the little voice in my head and I'm just going to get up and do it and then I'll feel better. But then one little thing led to another little thing, and I was like, oh man, how many things I gotta do? And now I know it's only been 30 days, and there's probably still a ton of things I need to do, but I'm not feeling overwhelmed by all the things that I want to do or that I want to change. I'm accepting that this is going to be a process, that it's progress, not perfection. I don't have to do this overnight. I cannot do this overnight. And that in this process, after 30 days, I am now started to exercise. So I'm like, okay, let's see how well that goes. So I will talk about that. I know at one point I was thinking I would do 100 days of just gratitude and then 100 days of exercising and then 100 days of dealing with my finances. But it's like, I don't have to put all of that off until I finished my 100 days because I am changing my attitude by focusing on gratitude. And I love those two rhyme, attitude, gratitude. Sounds so cool. Gratitude, attitude of gratitude. Anyway, sorry, I was just having fun playing with words. I like doing that sometimes. That's maybe why I'm a writer. Uh, no, I think I'm a writer because it helps me process things and I make up stories in my head because it helps me visualize, kinds of relationships that I want or how I want things to work. All the things that aren't in my control that I wish I could control so I can control them in the stories in my head. Although when I type them up, they always come out a little bit differently, so I'm still not sure how much control over that I actually have. I think I have the illusion of control, and I like the illusion. But reality is kicking in, and I'm grateful that I can enjoy my reality, that I know I don't have to be perfect today. And that doesn't mean I failed because I'm still making progress. I still did some things, and I'm still going to do more things today. This is not the end of my day. It's probably somewhere at the beginning still, maybe a little towards the middle, but it's a good thing and it's a good day. And I am grateful that I have this day. I'm grateful that I made it this far. I'm grateful that my motivations are changing, or that I'm actually being motivated to do the things that I've wanted to do that I knew would make me feel better. That I'm not worried about getting pushed down or having the rug pulled out for me, waiting for that proverbial other foot to drop or whatever it is to take away things. I'm like, my situation hasn't changed at all, really. I'm still behind in my finances. I still haven't unpacked my house. I still haven't done my dishes. I'm still behind on a lot of things that I need to do because I didn't do all of that stuff while I was depressed and discouraged and focusing on negative things. So I can't go back and undo what's been done, but I can move forward and try to start doing things a little at a time. And eventually, all of these things will get done and I won't be behind anymore. But I'm grateful I don't feel the need to do it overnight. I'm grateful that I don't feel overwhelmed by all of it. Maybe I do a little bit, but I'm grateful to know that God is there blessing me and helping me and giving me the strength and the courage that I need to move forward with all of these things. And it really helps to see myself the way that God sees me, to see other people that way, to be able to focus on myself, to want to do things to make me feel better. And it's exciting right now where I'm at. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm like, I still have 70 more days to do all of this, but that doesn't seem as overwhelming or as scary as it did when I said day one. And I'm just grateful for the changes that I'm making right now. And that for some reason my body is just willing to get up and go and do. And my brain is like, we need to do these things. It's like, and it feels good. And I'm grateful to be doing it. So I really thought I'd be complaining about it afterwards, but I was like, oh no, I'm glad I did it. And I want to do it again tomorrow. And I don't care how exhausted I feel or how much my legs feel like jelly right now. It was totally worth it. And I want to keep doing it because I want to keep getting better. And I'm grateful that I want to do that for me. I want to have more energy. I want to not feel stiff and sore. I want to not feel tired all the time. I want to sleep better. So I'm trying to do these things, and I know it's not everything, it's not perfect, and it's gonna be a while. And I will probably no, I will never be perfect in this life. I was gonna say I probably won't be, but I'm like, no, I won't. I will never be perfect. I'm always gonna make mistakes. I'm always gonna do things that other people don't like. I'm I'm different. That's just how it is. But I can try to do things that God likes. I can do things that I like that make me feel good. That um, make me feel like I'm showing gratitude to my Heavenly Father for the gifts that He's given me by using them, by sharing them, and it makes me feel good. It's the best thing that I can do to say that I appreciate what He's doing is by accepting it and by using it, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful that I can do these videos, and I hope that they're inspiring or helpful to other people that are watching them, and seeing me go through this process. And I hope it gives you hope to know that it is a process. It takes a while, and maybe 30 days isn't the day that you're going to be like, hey, I'm just up and doing whatever. Maybe it takes longer than that. Maybe it doesn't take as long as that. Everybody's different, and just because I'm having a good day today doesn't mean I won't have a bad day tomorrow or some other day in this 100 days, because life is full of ups and downs, and change is not easy. It's not overnight, and it's something that I have to constantly focus on and remind myself to focus on the positive and to focus on the progress, and instead of focusing on the failure. And I'm like, haven't really failed at this. I just started trying to exercise and change my schedule today. So, um, but I'm not giving up, and I think that's the key, is not giving up, and to continue to move forward as best as I can. So I'm grateful that I can do that, and I'm grateful for anybody that's watching these. And if you like, you can just hit like, subscribe, follow, share, whatever. However this stuff works, I don't know, but I think that's all that I have for today, and I hope you have a day full of gratitude. So thank you.